Mm. So at this current time, live. Yes. So the big game is on at this given moment. France versus Senegal. First group stage game of Group I. So we're going to get into it. So we are what 9 minutes in. We are 9 minutes in so far. Yes, ready for this big group game. In Group I. Arguably, two of these teams, much favorite as well. With Norway, to go through. You will see Iraq and Norway play right after this game. So that will be a magnificent game as well for the neutrals. Yeah, so we'd like to see the likes of, Odegaard, Charlotte, Erling Haaland, a whole bunch of superstars, from that Norway team in a major tournament. Let's see what the Erling Haaland can do. Almost, I think he have probably a goal in every international game he played for Norway. Such a magnificent record for his national team. So let's see, if all of that can follow with what he have done so far for his national team. But I think I really do like this setup as well from both teams. Looking at teams, especially looking at France, up in the corner and Saliba. That's a very good centre back pairing as well. Kunde and Hernandez, Rabiot, Tushemende, Dembele. I mean, so the front four alone. Yeah, the front four alone for this French team, roughly around 100 goal of the how these four players perform at their club as this last campaign that just ended. So loads of goals. This Senegalese team going to have to deal with Naya Kite and Koulibaly at the back, but two teams very much experienced as well. Sadio Mane didn't feature not one bit in the last World Cup because of an injury. So he's back and he's fit and strong, even though he's 34. You want to say maybe his best of his career, is behind him, but still have a very good engine where you can perform at the highest level CMA. So let's see if he will get going in this World Cup. Sorry about that. Yes, so let's see if he can get things going. To help this Senegal team as well. They need goals. They definitely need goals. Jackson is not the best of campaign for him at Bayern Munich. Ismail Assar, arguably one of Crystal Palace best performer in the UEFA Conference League as well. You have, they got the both Gaia in the midfield and Kamara as well, Biate. Let's see how much he will get forward, and also, Elaj Diouf, over that left hand side, such a prolific player in the Premier League for West Ham, one of their best players as well. There's no doubt, that player will get a move coming, the end of this World Cup. So let's see how things will go on, there. Me, I'm not bringing nothing. You see my colors? I'm a neutral. I ain't bringing no team in this game. I'm a neutral. I'm a straight up neutral. Yeah, so big up to the ones streaming as well on Facebook, YouTube, and also on X. People, getting in as well, as you're making your way in. Just subscribe, whatever platform you're watching the watch along and as well. So, we're here again looking at it, France really yet to settle, very much. I'm not sure, if the Senegalese team going to give them too much space, deep into their half. They're going to press right in their face as well. You could see Nicholas Jackson on the front foot already. But it's a huge game. It is a huge game, for these two teams, and you could see, Kylian Mbappe, got a first, look at the goal, but he was miscontrolled already, So let's see if he can get his tools sharpened up real quick, and if he can deliver for the French team yet again. I think he's like, what, 4 goals from that all-time, World Cup record from Miroslav Klose. And you think with this World Cup and another one, Kylian Mbappe should be, favorite, to be the all-time leading World Cup goal scorer as well. Sometime if it's not this World Cup, arguably it could be the next World Cup, as many people have Kylian Mbappe to be the leading goal scorer of this campaign. And if he can go all the way, and played over 7+ games in this World Cup, arguably, he will score more than 4 goals, because he's such a prolific player at this moment. How many players, can score a hat trick in a World Cup final and still go on to lose that game? Yeah, it's such a brutal sport sometimes. It's such a brutal sport. Yeah, so let's see what will happen, both keepers in between the two sticks, the Magic Mayagan, and also, Mendy, formerly of Chelsea as well, two very good goalkeeper. Once at one time, once was in Europe and one is currently in Europe at this given moment. So let's see how they will perform. I think Mendy, if anything going to happen in this game for the Senegalese team, you think that he's going to have to come up at his best, because if Senegal go 1 up or 2-1 or whatever, taking the lead, this French team, will be looking to, rampage of attack, very good turn there from Kylian Mbappe. Okay, my side play later. Yes, the Albi Celeste will play Algeria later in the 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. locally in Jamaica as well. So that game will kick off 6 p.m. as well, on the west coast of America as well. Maybe somewhere around 7 p.m., for if you live in Mexico and stuff like that. So let's see what this game will bring, to the party as well. Next up, is Iraq versus Norway, a team that, Iraq would have went all around the globe, to play some whole lot of game in the World Cup qualifier. Let's see how they can come out as well, because they went to the Intercontinental Playoff, versus Bolivia. That game played, I think, in Monterrey. So let's see how they can, produce, in this World Cup. It's not a God given. I think they really, really deserve, the opportunity in this tournament as well. And just to see the likes of Jordan, the likes of Iran, the likes of Iraq, these teams, to all be playing in the World Cup at once, it tells a lot that other nations, are growing into the sports. But let's see, 17 minutes in as yet, and we are still locked 0-0 in this game. Really yet to see any real positivity, from this Senegalese team, as it's always going to be tough. Yes, it's always going to be tough for them to get a lot of possession of the game. They're going to have to pick their moment. They're going to have to buy their time. They're going to have to play on the transition and try to counter attack this team. It's not very easy, to counter attack a very French team, because they're so strong all around. All the departments on the pitch, from the goalkeeper, the defender, the midfielder, and the forward line, they are, strong in those departments as well. So let's see how, the Senegalese team go to navigate themselves and try to modify this French team as right down to the T, and that are the eyes. It's going to have to be close to a pitch perfect game to get, full 3 points from this French team. When you look at the back, you're seeing William Saliba, you're seeing, Upamecano, stuff like that. So Branks, to go to your bed. Get off your granny phone and go to your bed, son. All right, go watch a game. But yeah, we here, continue looking on. Why is it my earphone is not connected? Yes, so looking very sharply at the game. All 11 players, for the Senegalese team is in their defensive half at this moment. They're trying to win the ball back, trying to win possession, to get up the field a bit, push the team a bit field. This is going to be key. They're going to have to create a lot of, room, of them trying to get up the field as well. They're going to have to be a lot more quicker in the transition. And when that ball is deep in the attacking, and Senegal is on the move, and it is the first sight of what the Senegalese team can. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Back again. Let's get this one back up on the screen. As the Senegalese fans are very looking happy, in the stadium as well, looking very sharp. Yeah. Not really seeing much, real creativity from the Senegalese team. But I know it's a moment of time, before they pick their moment, and not going to get a lot of opportunity in this game. Anything that they're going to get, they're going to have to work very hard, for the ball. They're going to have to work hard to create a space. They're going to have to work very hard as well, to get shots off as well. And they're going to have to work very hard off the ball of trying to contain, the Kylian Mbappe up front, the Doué, the Mbappe, the Dembele, and the Olise. It's a very attacking front line, and arguably could be looking and maybe have a 4-4-2. Looking at maybe Dembele, is dropping a little bit deep into the midfield to support the midfield two of Rabiot, Toshimeni, in the middle of the park as well. But it's more looking at something similar, like, what the Paris Saint-Germain team's playing, but slightly different, different for different setup, different players as well. But it can be similar, with the pace, with the same intensity. The 1v1 against the opposition team here is very strong, and that's a very good defense as well from Diate at the right back position. It's not easy to be dealing with Dewey and Kylian Mbappe on that side, as a right back, that's something where you fear for your life. One day, if you're going to survive coming out of that battle, yeah, will you get outrun? Will those players, out? And here goes the Senegalese team coming on attack, and it's a very strong challenge from up in the corner again, and that was sorry, you just couldn't get away. That's how strong this French team is. Is looking at up in the corner. Look at how easy this place the ball away from Sar as well. It seems like there was no one running behind him or beside of him. He misplaced that ball very quickly from the Senegalese player, and Mendy is messing around a bit. He's not the clever footwork player in the two sticks of the goal. It's not the best. He's not the best of dealing with the ball at his feet. Yeah, so you don't want to run that risk when you have so many explosive players in the attacking third for the French team as well. But let's see what will happen in the second half of the first half. I think there will be a hydration break very soon as well. I think anytime the ball go out, maybe that will be a hydration break coming up as well. The newly informed rule in the FIFA World Cup, it's like a 4 quarter where you have first quarter, second quarter, you have the halftime break, and then you have the third quarter and the fourth quarter where the games come to an end as well. So this new hydration break, man, I don't really like it, but we have to just rock with it. That's the rule, and we can't really change anything but make a lot of noise. But Mbappe not looking really sharp, giving away the ball a lot of time. And here goes the Senegalese team on the attack, and it's 2v1 in the box. And it's Senegal, it's a goal. Oh my God, it's almost got in. What a wonderful shot from Jackson. Nicholas Jackson getting the best of William Saliba on that left-hand side as well, going down his right. And that ball ricocheted off the post from Mayagan and went back out for a corner kick. And that's what the Senegalese are waiting on. They're waiting on something like that to pounce on, and you could see how dangerous Nicholas Jackson was during that play, and it was a magnificent hit from the former Bayern Munich man at this moment. Is a Chelsea player, and the ball struck Mayagan right post, hit him on his left foot, almost went back into the goal for our own goal. But it's going to be a tough battle. That's the first look of what this French team can do. First look what they really will bring on the counter, against a very strong French defensive team as well. So, corner kick, let's see how this one spends out, and it's at the near post, and it's flash far post, and it seems to be more of France ball, and this will be the hydration break. The hydration break, so you say in the last 3 minutes before the hydration break, the Senegalese team really control that last 3 minutes of creating that moment, got the opportunity to swing a ball crossing, but wasn't good enough. I think it was flicked off the head by a Senegalese player. So when the hydration break return, it will be a France throw on their left-hand side as well. But not much in the game, as we can look at some of the stats at this moment, not much in the game. The stats will be telling us, something similar for the game is panning out. The French team is bossing the game, more possession on the ball. Senegal, though, one thing, Senegal have, 2 shots on goal already. None of it you say on target, as that Nicholas Jackson ball hit the post. Both teams have 2 touches in the box as well. No real big chance created. Accurate passes 182, 91% of the French team, and 108 accurate pass for the Senegalese team. That's 85% of the passes they accumulate in this game as well. Total shot, I would say that 2-1 in favor of the Senegalese team. 1 off target as well. Tackles, obviously, with the team defending very deep, the Senegalese team, they would have 1 more tackles, and that in the favor of them, 7-4. 1 interception in favor of the Senegalese team as well. 1 block, and also 4 clearance. 4 clearance for the Senegalese team and 3 clearance for the French team. No keeper really yet to make some good saves in the game. That's 0-0. Duels won. The Senegalese team have won their duels 12-10 as well. And the ground duels, Senegalese team would have won 11. That's 61% of their duels accumulate. They would have won one aerial duel, that's 25% as well. Successful dribble, Senegalese team, two successful dribbles already. So let's see, nothing much really, to talk about, in terms of the statistics and how things are really going at this point. But you can see here, this is where Nicholas Jackson, at that shot, where it was struck the post and hit Mayagan. I think it was on his left foot and went back right out for a corner kick as well. So that is it, 0-0 in the first 28 minutes of the game. The Senegalese fans in New York, a lot of Senegalese fans, reside in that state as well. You want to say roughly around 20 to 30,000, Senegalese nationality living in New York. It's a large population of them. And, the French people, so be the case as well. That's where they packed up most in the country of America. They all reside in New York as if it is a little French town. So we have known and seen, a lot of French fans, in the stadium, as you could arguably say, look, France have a lot of nationality, living in New York as well. You want to say that's probably the highest population of a state of a lot of French-speaking people. You're talking about, Senegal. You're talking about Ivory Coast, France. So many French-speaking nationalities reside in France at this moment. Yeah. So we're back on track. Oh, and it is a Senegalese throw. Naya Keita will take a long throw, very long, straight into the box. We'll be looking for the likes of Koulibaly. I will be very surprised of why he is taking a long throw. Why not? He will want to be on the front of that, trying to flick one of those balls, to the back post to see if one of his Senegalese team can run onto it and latch that into the back of it, or give Mayagan something to talk about. And it is the Senegalese team winning the ball again from Kylian Mbappe, and it is a free kick for the French national team. So we're looking at 30 minutes, 0-0, no real threat coming from, the French team of breaking down a tough, very compact, barrier of the Senegalese team. Let's see how long this can stay for. But as a Senegal, they're picking their moment, and it is Senegal, and it's another shot. And yes, that one went off target as well. That was from, Ismail Assar, the man from Crystal Palace. This time, again, the turnovers are coming at a rapid pace, against the French team. They just turn over the ball, so easily at this given moment. And the last 10 minutes of the game, it's all Senegal. It's all Senegal, of that little press. The French team is not helping themselves by turning it over. They're losing the 50-50 battle. You could see again Adrissa Gaye winning another 50-50 ground duels again. So they're looking more in favor of winning the small battles. And this is something where, you have to start do these things. Yeah, you have to start do these things from minute 1 until minute 90, winning the battles, aerial duels, ground duels, getting, as close as possible, to your marker as well. So, at least you can close them down. And you could see the Senegalese team is not giving away too much spaces in their defensive half. So the ball is deep into the French defensive third. Let's see if the Senegalese team, can make advantage of this and make use of this ball possession that's having at this moment. I would say this is the largest amount of passes they have made, being in the French defensive half, but they turn over the ball to Mayagan, and it's played out to Hernandez out on this left hand side, looking to break, but he returned that ball back in the defensive line to William Saliba, and it's Rabiot in the middle of the pitch, searching and scanning for a pass, and he found Koundé, and it's Jules Koundé looking for Olise, and it's Olise playing it right back to Upamecano, looking for a pass, come back into the middle where the two defensive lines split. Tushimene drive out of it as well, getting into the French half. Also, it's out here on the left hand side to Lucas, back into Saliba, Tushimene, scanning, looking for a pass. All 10 players from the starting level for the French team is buying their moment, buying their time, and it is another bad pass again from the French team. They're not looking so sharp as yet. As Dembele, failed to really, to get in the game, failed to get in the game as much as you would like him to do. Wondering if that position is having an effect on the player. Maybe there will be a tweak, for Didier Deschamps, coming into the second half as well. Obviously, would have probably make a bit of, prep team talk, during that hydration break, things they need to lock in and things that they need to get better. It would have been much one of that as well of keeping possession of the ball, make less turnovers, be as precise as you can. But Senegalese team is back on the back foot again, looking for that true pass for Olise. It's going right back to Mendy, and he put that one right in the middle of the air, where it's a no man's land, and Tushimene won that header. Neakite won the header, and it is Saliba won that header, and it is Diate won that header. So it's like a pinball with the heads at this moment. Like both teams are on the beach playing, head volleyball. No one really want to take the ball under control, and it is the Senegalese team, Sadio Mane turn, and he's looking for Nicholas Jackson. Very well, good by Nicholas Jackson of holding off Tushimene in the middle of the pitch, and it is a long ball over here near right hand side from Kamara, and it is Sar, and he's looking for Diate, and he's looking for Diate is looking for Sar down that right hand side. These two teams are just turning over the ball for fun. Wondering if it is the New York Heat at this moment. It is getting a toll on a lot of these players, but big up in the academy. There was France have 7 different players going into the middle to pick up the from defenders. That's top-notch football. Hope JFF and coaching staff paying attention. Yeah, because it's like they're rotating, and how they're going to go get the ball from William Saliba and Upamecano. But it's just to show you how the French team is well equipped, getting into different positions, collecting the ball in various areas, and they will still look comfortable. As much as they're making a bit, quite a few turnovers, but I think they're still doing, a fantastic job. You can see sometimes Olise is dropping into the midfield, Dembele is dropping into the midfield, and I think this is, simple, fundamental stuff. And when you see these stuff, happening with the elite national teams, we look at it as it is the best thing we have ever seen. Just because our national team is not really used to play those type of football, you get what I'm saying? So when we see this stuff, we know it is a fundamental stuff at this level, and this is just the basic. But when you talk about experience, players, quality, professional players, when you talk about the best of the best coach and the coaching staff, taking care of a lot of these players, giving them the best tools, how to develop as well. So these players will well in advance in those areas as well. You get what I'm saying? So meanwhile, our players, not everyone really can do those for the regular boys team as well. But we are looking forward and to see what will happen. And it is the Senegalese team is driving into the midfield, and this ball coming back out wide on this right hand side. It is a Senegalese team looking a bit comfortable, but nervously, passing the ball around. Sometimes it's a bit sharp. We're looking at like where they will pounce on it and steal the ball from the Senegalese team. But for some reason, the ball just creeped and went to that Senegal player just in time for him to play that ball away from the dangerous area as well. But the Senegalese team, this is what I'm talking about, right? As you're not the favorite, you have less quality, of players on the pitch. You're not supposed to be keeping the ball that well, but this is the thing, you have to do. You have to keep the ball at some point. You can't just be chasing a game 100%. You have to can take control of the game. Take authority of the game. You have to get midfielders on the ball. is moving the ball around as quick and precise as you can. So if you cannot do stuff like that and move the ball with a lot of pace and raise the intensity level, then I don't think you're ready for this level as yet. You're going to continue to play World Cup qualifier games where you're going to continue to get knocked out in first round, second round, or third round. You get what I'm saying? So let's see again. It's another turnover from the Senegalese team, but Sadio Mane escaped that one where he find a pass to, I think it was Naya Keita at the back as well, but Mendy boot that one right over here on the near touchline, and it is a strong presence in the back from Hernandez and Ishmael Sarr. And it's Diakite, Diate is driving down that right hand side, and it's Sarr, and it is well covered and sealed by the French player. Who was that in the 70s? Rabiot. Tracking back as well, doing a bit of a dirty work, helping out his teammates. It is William Saliba in the number 17, tracking back right there as well, covering up for a centre half. But another long ball from the French. I'm wondering why the French team is really, overhitting the ball or overpassing, the ball on a regular basis. That's normally not them. But again, it can down to the simple look of pressure that the Senegalese team is putting on them as well. They're not making them, too much comfortable. If you ask me, not making them too much comfortable. As you can see, some of the big French nationalities, in the stadium, talking about the Arsene Wenger, the invincible at Arsenal as well. Finally, the Arsenal fans can look beyond, and talk about what they have achieved this season of not the invincible, and it is a very good, move from Ishmael Sarr, and that was a comfortable save, for Magic Mayagan as well in between the stick. Wow. And it is a very good play from Olise, and it's Jules Koundé is going down that right hand side for the French team, and it's Mbappe peeling off on the near post, trying his best to get something going as well. Respect for your $2.79 super chat as well. Thin line, much love. As it really hurts. Jamaica have some good players, but needs top-notch coaching staff to bring the best out of them. I just think, the whole game model of how we're going to get a game model to really to get these players, merge as one and, get the best out of them. Jamaica, we don't have the best of players in the CONCACAF region, but it's good enough. It should be good enough in this region, to qualify for the World Cup. But again, some players going to need help. Look at players are systematic players. Those players will need help. You have players that can play raw. Remember like when Demarai Gray just came in and it was for the Gold Cup, and I think he scored like a goal or two in that Gold Cup and assist as well. And that year of 2023, Demarai Gray have around 8 goals contribution in 11 games for the national team, and he from that, it's like he was going backwards and backwards and backwards. So I just think, players will need help. Yeah, there should be a system in place. There should be a very good, high professional level-headed coach, who have tactical work, who have the experience, someone that's not emotionally attached to the negativity, around the national team. You get what I'm saying? So I just think we need that perfect coach, and that perfect coach is somewhere out there. Look at so many teams. When Panama went for Thomas Christiansen, he was very much unknown, to this region. When Haiti went for Sebastian, he was very much unknown to this region. You get what I'm saying? And I think the perfect coach, at the time, was Imir Grimsby, to build on and to start a solid foundation with. And I think if he was here, maybe it would have been a different result, because you could see that he was trying his best to build, a solid foundation, and you could see that he started to get the best out of the defensive line. And then, you see the likes of Pinnock, Nanalo, all those players, the Joe Latibodier, I think at the time it was Michael Hector, he was getting the best out of them. You get what I said? Defensively, and it was a moment of time, maybe start to transition that, for the attacking players as because look, you have to deal with different phases, when you're developing players in different parts, coming from of the world as well into a national team. And you only have like probably between roughly around 7 to 8 days, international time, and then from there, you only have like one retraining session for each game, to prepare and to get the tactical work done. And a lot of that has to come down to um, indoor sessions, video analytics, the ideology of how you want your team to play, the game model, for that starting level, so each player can have enough details and to know what they need to do on that pitch. You get what I'm saying? So if you look at how the Haitian team played the other day, they could play with their eyes closed because they understand and know everything and how their players will run in certain parts of the area of the pitch as well. So coaches, man, coaches is a big part of success for a national team or any football team out there. But back in the game, just a few minutes before the final whistle blow for the end of the first half as well. Um, Looking much bit more sharp, looking more to correct some of their, attacking plays moving forward. And that was a very uncomfortable ricochet from the captain himself, Koulibaly. That one, ricochet out for that is a corner kick. Yes, and it is in swing from Olise, and it's a very good, comfortable catch from the Senegalese goalkeeper wearing number 16, Mendy. It is a very poor, corner kick from the standard of Olise. But not seeing too much of these French stars, and I'm going to say this as well. This is a massive problem, for the Deschamps. Yeah, this is a massive problem going forward for him, where a lot of stars, in this team. The team is very top heavy of star players. Combine all of these players playing in the top four for this French team, Olise, Dembele, Doué, and Kylian Mbappe. It's around 95, 97 goals in total, combined them of how much goals they scored last season, right? He's going to have to find a perfect balance. And I believe that with Desiree Doué out on this left hand side, you have Olise over on that right hand side. I just believe that the likes of Dembele and Kylian Mbappe, it will not work together. I think they need a bit of a glue, in between those players up front for the French team. And I think maybe Ryan Cherky is that player. Yeah, to be honest, maybe Ryan Cherky is that player to really to get the balance of that front line. You get what I say? So, respect as well, much love and respect to you. Yeah, you don't know, we just continue putting out, some content and stuff like that. Reason football as always see it as well, and give a bit more details in depth. So as we go on, we're going to improve, and it will happen, where we become, that very much also name, in the space as well, talking about football. But I'm just saying, this is going to be a big issue. This remind me of, maybe Fabio Capello. Yeah, maybe a Fabio Capello trying to fit in the Skulls, the Lampard, the Gerrard, those players, the Michael Carrick, the Owen Hargreaves, those players have been such a difficult job, to fit all those pieces in. As you can see, the Senegalese team is trying to break down, into the channels of the French team, but the two center half, they are just so strong. Yeah, they are just so strong, for the French team in the CB road as well. But Deschamps look very agitated, and the touchline look very frustrated as well. I know for sure he will not be comfortable, doing his team talk, because the French team has been poor, in the attacking wise they have been poor, but defensive wise I think they kind of clean up all, those waste passes that the Senegalese team would have made, and some very good passes as well. And they're very strong in the air, and they're very strong, with their ground doors. So it's much difficult for the Senegalese team to get a breakthrough as well. But not seeing many of them getting on the ball lately. It's all about what France is doing at this moment. The moment the Senegalese team get close to the French defensive third, yeah, there's always a man there to stop. But Ishmael Sarr out here on his right hand side, he's trying his best, to get the best of Hernandez in that left back position as well, and also William Saliba playing in that left centre back for the French team. But we are much closer getting into the last sets of minute for added time. Another wasteful pass down the line for Kylian Mbappe. Koulibaly left that one run in the hands of Mendy as well. But let's see who will finish this half strong, and who will maybe get a breakthrough. You would probably need a much better grade breakthrough for any team to get at this moment. I think it will change the whole dynamic of the team that. But leave it right there, people. Leave it right there, as the final whistle will come to an end very shortly as well. And it is a very good cross. That's a first signs of a good look on the back post, from Jules Koundé from the right back position, looking for Kylian Mbappe centrally located, in the penalty area box for France as well, but it's slightly over it. That I think that's probably the best intention a French player have done, yeah, in the last 10-15 minutes of this game for Kylian Mbappe. But he's yet to really, get inside, to be honest. These all these low blocks thing goes already. You're not going to get much space. You're going to have to create your moments as well. So let's see how this one will pans out for the Senegalese team. But they're looking to close out very strongly, as the French team is up and running, pressing in the attacking half of their final third as well. So they're moving the ball a bit more precise, but again, misplaced pass cleared by Senegalese defensive line. But nothing really, to talk around as well, for the French team, going into the halftime break as well. As I said, man, they probably want to change someone up in that front four. I think it's arguably too top heavy. Yeah, I think that is very too top heavy. You need a midfielder to jam right in the mix of that, want to say flat three, or a 4-2-3-1 situation as well. But let's see what's going to happen. I have a few minutes. You have a few minutes left to go in this game, and it is the Senegalese team looking at the attack, and it is a go. Oh my God! Big opportunity missed by Ishmael Sarr. Ricochet to him on the back post. Finally get in front of his rival, who's playing in the left back position for the French team. That is Hernandez as well. He have done a wonderful job, to get in front. And it is, who was it? Let's see, who was it? Yes, it was Hernandez, and he got in front of Hernandez, and that should have been somewhere on target. Else, that would have been a massive game for the Senegalese team as well. Massive goal, especially the last kick after first half. So halftime break, and it is 0-0. From New York, yeah, in MetLife Stadium. Right after this, we'll be back. You understand? We'll catch back ourselves and get some momentum going. So I will be back in our traffic. Yes, so second half return. Yeah. End of that first 45 minutes, lots of wasteful moments, lots of encouraged moments, lots of threatening moments as well. So you have to look at it on both sides. Looking at it on its French team is on the front foot in the first 45 minutes, and it is a first look from Desiree Dewey. First look from the Paris Saint-Germain man looking to break the deadlock. And his position where he's picking up, very surprising as well. He's coming central as well. It's like Dembele. I'm not sure if Dembele going to start it on the right hand side, but let's see how this one stays. Where Olisa will be, where Dembele will be, the positions, for the French players in the second half. It's going to be very careful on how this Senegalese team, going to attack them. As you can see, a bit of a change of a tweak in the setup as well. So I think the first half started off Usman Dembele, playing up front alongside Kylian Mbappe, and the one that was dropping deep out of the two. But now, we see Olise is getting more centrally. Dembele is drifting much more wide right, and it seems like Desiree Due is still over on that far side with Hernandez playing from left back role as well. So it's interesting one. Let's see how they will perform in this new setup as well. A bit of a change around of system. As I said, I just feel like all those four players coming against some huge teams, I don't think it will work. I'm not sure if it will work, to be honest. It's a bit top heavy. You have no real one that going to be creative player. Like all of them, are just kind of similar in how they play. They want to be explosive. They always want to run the lines. They want to take on players 1v1. No one real in that France attacking third where they can be a Ryan Turkey, someone that's going to be a bit creativity, someone that's going to be the unusual stuff. So again, seeing Jules Conde is getting a lot forward as well in this second half. I think he's caught offside a bit. Yes, that was offside a bit. So if you're watching on the Carter Media House X account as well, don't forget to follow the account and also do the same as well if you're watching on the YouTube channel as well. So we have numerous amount of people checking in and checking out as well. So and also check out Daniel X account as well and YouTube channel Daniel Talk Football. Yeah. So we have some lots of attraction is going on as well on X where lots of people floating in and floating out. So here, watch along. 0-0. I don't know how many of you guys would have predicted this 50 minutes in and it's 0-0. Some clear cut opportunity. I would probably say the Senegalese team, get some big moments. Yeah, get some big moments. And coming up against this French team, you want to make sure you grab your big moments respectfully of where you get it on the pitch, and it is Nicholas Jackson breaking through, and he got the better almost. That's so quick of a player. William Saliba is. He's such a quick fella. He's like a Rose Rice in the backline. Look at how quick he make up grounds on Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, I'm not sure if even it was Kylian Mbappe, he would have got that anyways. But William Saliba, man, is just a tough, tough nut to crack. So quick in his gameplay. Now we're seeing more of Olise, coming from his central position, playing right behind Kylian Mbappe, and this easily could look as if it is a 4-4-1-1 formation from Didier Deschamps, or you can put it as 4-2-3-1 with the two defensive line players, Tushimeni and also Rabiot. But love to see how the change is well rings out for the French national team. As you're looking at away from the two goalkeepers, Ibrahim Konate, Lucas Dini, Lucas Hernandez, Marlo Gusto, Maxime Lacrosse, Cuadio Kone, N'Golo Kante, Ryan Cherky, Warren Zahir Emery, as well Barcola, and also Jean-Philippe Mateta, the man they call JP Mateta. Looking really good so far. Yeah, the French team looking really good so far, seeing that they can make amends of themselves. Not seeing much, not seeing much as yet from this Senegalese team in the second half. As there's a few bodies on the touchline warming up as well for the Senegal team, and there is going to be a substitution very shortly as well. Number, who's that? Looks like they're coming in, trying to figure out that number. There's a Senegalese change at this moment and I'm about to make. Let's see who will be that player on the touchline as well. That seems like someone was training their footwork. Maybe it was Malik El Diouf, the left back for Senegal as well. But Senegal is finding a lots of space in this French defensive line. Just in between the defensive midfielders and the centre back. They are finding some very good opening area, and this French team not looking good at this moment. They're not looking so comfortable, and the Senegalese team is making it much uncomfortable for them. And you could see the amount of space that this team is getting in the midfield. It's ridiculous. I'm not sure if Didier Deschamps can really go on and continue this team to be playing just like this. It's just not. It's not feasible at this moment, to have any real joy, in this team of playing with such attacking, front four, where those players, none of them want to track in the midfield. None of them really want to get, and it's Nicholas Jackson, and it is another over it ball that almost get into the pathway of Nicholas Jackson, but it's getting close. Something is coming. Something is coming for this Senegalese team. As it's getting much closer at this moment, and you could see it is in the midfield. It's a turnover, and it slid through for Kylian Mbappe, and it's almost goal number 1 from Kylian Mbappe. You'd want to bank on that one player to get on a 1v1 versus any defender in this FIFA World Cup. Would have more likely want to be Kylian Mbappe, and that was the first real time they get in behind this Senegalese team. It was a turnover in the midfield and it was a quick transition play, and that ball was fizzed in right to Kylian Mbappe feet, and he could not get it out under his foot in as quick as possible. He was trying his best to open up that body and to slap that ball into the left hand corner off, mend it, but it was all on the ground. If he could lift that ball just a feet above the surface, more likely that will hit the back of the net and it will send the French team 1-0 going into the last 30 minutes of this second half as well. But and it is a corner kick and it's only a playing shot and it's Rabia, it's Lucas, no, it's Hernandez in the box as well, and it's Diate, with a clearance as well. But nothing much in this game as yet. Nothing much is in this game as yet. Still a stalemate, still a dullmate. No real team to break the deadlock as yet. But Mendy came up big in that last minute or so from a Kylian Mbappe. Shot that would have been what, the first shot and target at it, and it is out. Wow, wow, what a challenge from Malik El Ajduf and Kylian Mbappe. What a magnificent slide tackle. And the referee said it is a corner kick. There for sure there might be some looking for the video analyst crew to read, and it is a clean challenge. And it actually was Sadio Mane. It wasn't El Ajduf, it was Sadio Mane. And you're wondering if he really get the last bit of touch on Kylian Mbappe, where it could easily be a penalty kick in the 59th minute. What is going on right here? Are they looking at the video replay? Possibility of a penalty check at this moment, and Sadio Mane with a challenge and Kylian Mbappe. Let's see. Yes, the check still going on. As the French, and the referee said continue. No, still checking. What is being, let me see if I can. Look, that is a perfect call, to be honest. I don't think Mane really touched Kylian Mbappe where he could go down in that fashion of way. I think normally when the referee goes to the monitor, typically, 90% of the times, he's going to go ahead and either continue with the decisions or overturn it as well. So let's see what's going to happen in the game as well. But 61 minutes in, and you could see Didier Deschamps is having a lot of communication issue at this moment with the fourth official, wondering if that was the right call or if not, but Senegal still a bit in this game, to be honest. The French team look really dangerous in the last 10 minutes or so. In the mix of that, Kylian Mbappe, got a 1v1 versus Mendy, and Mendy saved that one as well, where it was one of the clearest opening chance of the game for France. And if you want someone to bury that one, it would have easily be that Kylian Mbappe shot, but it is Senegal coming on attack as well, and it is Kamara in the middle. Here we switch it wide to El Hadj Diouf. Not a misplaced pass by the Senegalese players. And I think the referee have done a fantastic job. Yeah, I think the referee have done a fantastic job, if you ask me. The name of this referee is Alireza, Fagani from Australia. And you could see the replay from the referee camera. All the French players were in his face, wondering what he's calling for. Is it a penalty or it's not a penalty? But this is a very, very, very close game. Very close game. Yeah, this is such a very close game at this moment. And there's a Redo going down that left hand side. And it's another opening shot for who is that? That is Hernandez, the left back. Theo Hernandez as well. Going down that left hand side. With there's a Redo, get that shot. And as it was blocked by one of the Senegalese defender. And it's the French moving quick. And look at the intensity in the defensive third after Senegalese half, and the pitch intense at this moment in Senegal half, and it's Olise is carrying out some wonderful footworks and body move at this moment, looking for Jules Conde, and he's come back to Olise, and he's trying to fist Kylian Mbappe, and it's a magnificent pass by Olise. It's a magnificent pass by Olise to Kylian Mbappe as he breaks the deadlock. Wonderful as it quiets the Senegalese fans in the stadium, but there's nothing to argue about that. The pass sets up that shot where it was just so easy for Kylian Mbappe to return that back the far post off where the keeper was coming from as well. But magnificent, such a beauty of a pass. It was such a beauty. I don't think anyone on the pitch sees that pass, only Olise. Magnificent pass with his left foot as well. See the run of Kylian Mbappe. Wow. And I think Koulibaly, I think it was yeah, it was Koulibaly that was marking Kylian Mbappe. Such a wonderful pass. Yeah, such a wonderful. Happen with Give me your view of happened with Kylian Mbappe. I don't know which one you're talking about. Was it the penalty shot or something? But let me know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, that was a magnificent pass. Such a clinical pass, and the finish it was very good as well. And the French hearing him down in the back of the Senegalese players, looking to win the ball high up in their defensive third, looking for a quick another one, and it's over the top this time, and it's Senegal, and it is a goal, and it's not, and it is an offside from Nicholas Jackson. What a wonderful finish from the Senegalese player, but it was offside. That was a magnificent shot from Nicholas Jackson that hit the roof of the goal. Has it slide? Yeah, I think he's off. Yes, I think he's off. As Kylian Mbappe is what, third goal away? Yeah, third goal away from reaching the legendary German player Miroslav Klose at this moment. Yeah, third goal away from reaching that landmark all-time goal scorer in the World Cup, and we are going into the hydration break at this moment. To be honest, I think it's a very good, show. I think it's a very good show, for that Nicholas Jackson. But the replay shows that he was way off as the hydration breaks clocked in, and here goes the commercial breaks once again. Once again, the hydration break is in, and it is the commercial time. But I think tactically, the Senegalese team is doing very well. I think, to be honest, when you look at their team, I think there could be a midfield change anytime soon. To bring a bit more creativity, in the middle of the park. And I'm looking at it. Maybe, you can get on, Pape Sarr, on the pitch as well. The Tottenham experiment that could bring a lot more drive and power in that midfield. I think Asani Diao as well could be, an option coming off the bench to play in that number 10 role as well. Also, Iliman India, I think he should get on the pitch very soon. Maybe that's a substitution can be made as well, where Ismail Sarr, can get off the pitch. I think he have done enough, to show what he can do in this game, and I think it's just not good enough at this moment. Time and time, he get 1v1 and fail to get past a William Saliba, but I think India, is a player that can get on the pitch. Liniman India from Everton as well. That should be a possibility of a change. That will make very soon. Let's see if that change will be made during the hydration break as well. But they need something new. They need something fresh. They need something that will work for them in the midfield. And I think that with someone can drive with the ball like Pape Sarr, can bring that intensity and that also that physicality as well, matching up with the French players. I think in the first half they have shown that the more bodies they put and drive through that midfield, it will open a lot of cracks. As you can see at this moment, it is rain in New York, but soon to be the sun, or it was the sprinkler. I think that was the sprinkler that came on the pitch just a few minutes back during the hydration break. But yeah, let's see where Senegal will pick up from here. But they need some substitution. 20 minutes left in the game. Not many time left back in after this. 10 minutes gone. It will be just 10 minutes left. So let's see what will they do with the 20 minutes that left back in this game, as they need changes very soon. They need fresh legs before this French team hit to where it will just be. Oh, and it's a very good effort from Olise. But yeah, needs to get the equalizer before the French team, really can get any more goals in the game. As I think the next goal will be key, but you don't want to see the French team scored because if they scored, more likely with 20 minutes in, leading 2-0, that's like hasta la vista, for you, you be curtains. You just cannot get back with what that defensive line they really have at their disposal, Saliba and Upamecano. Yeah. If you take off Jackson and in Earl and in nearest squad, I did not say Jackson must come off. I said Ishmael Assar would have be the right man, to get off the pitch as well. He would be the right man, to get off and bring on, Illiman in there. And also Pape Sarr would that be a good option in the midfield three as well. Give them a bit of a dynamic, more legs in the midfield as well, more drive, more power. That would be a good option off the bench. I think they have at least four good solid substitutions that they can make. It's just that they need to make the right decisions of taking out the right player. I think Sadio Mane should be good. Nicholas Jackson should be good. I think the two guys, should be good as well. Maybe, Kamara, yeah, he's having a very decent game as well. But, you want to take out the player that will suit Pape's are of getting in so he can replace them and not too much of getting the team unbalanced in the midfield. And it is a swing in. It was an overhead cross by El Diouf. And it was an overhead cross from Malik El Diouf. Over it, way over his teammates' head. As you can see, some of the New York Knicks NBA stars champions is in the stadium at this moment. With French players traveling, and it is a very good drive from Desiree Doué as he's running right towards the attack, getting that right back position as there's issues for the Senegalese team to keep up with this French attack, time and time and time. The French team is getting opportunities towards the goal, and it is number 20 and number 21, is about to get in. Telling you, of course, at least Ibrahim Ambaye will get on the pitch as well, and Abib Diarra, the midfielder, he will also get on the pitch as well. No Pape Sarr as yet. And they're doing some very fantastic pass out here. If you look at it, I mean, that should have been, a close call as well for a foul. But I think Upamecano have done enough to skip out of the way of Nicholas Jackson. But substitutions coming in at this moment. Ismail Assar is getting out. That is who is coming in as well for Ismail Assar in the attacking third. And it is Kamara is coming off as well, Ibrahim Mbaye is coming on, and Diarra is getting in as well for Kamara. Let's see, how much these changes will change the game. I'm still wondering, in there, is not on the pitch. Wondering if something is happening to the player where he's not fully fit. Are they a bit of concern of an injury? Haven't seen or heard anything about him. But very surprisingly, he's still on the bench. He's nowhere near on the pitch as yet. game is getting very brutal and killing Mbappe at this moment. What a wicked, challenge from the man that just came in. Will Olise go for goal or will he go for a chip inside of the box? And that ball hit in the favor of the Senegalese players and he's trying to look for a teammate, but no. Senegalese team seems like it's a bit tired, need some fresh look. I think they need more substitutions in. Yeah, I think they have run their socks off. I think looking at the last 15 minutes left, I think Pape Thiaw, the Senegalese coach, should get more substitutions in. Should get more players in. They're looking a bit jaded, looking a bit leggy. They are not doing the stuff that once they were doing in the first half, and also that can be down to the tactical changes of the deviation of switching players into different positions on the pitch. And it's no real, I don't think the French team have made any real substitutions as yet. No, they're yet to really make a substitution, and their bench at this moment is stacked. You have Marcos, you have Akaluche, you have Mateta, you have Barcola, you have Zaire Emery, you have Cherokee, you have N'Golo Kante, you have Puadio, Kone as well. So they're very stacked, with players on the pitch, and that was a massive opportunity as well. That was the chance for Nicholas Jackson. That was the chance as well. I didn't see that one. That was a massive chance, and it is Barcola is coming off for Ousmane Dembele. That's the first substitution for the French national team. But that was the opportunity, for the Senegalese team to get back into the game. But for some reason, Nicholas Jackson he found a way and how to miss those easy opportunity as well. Easy opportunity. And it's another interception as well from Theo Hernandez. French team boss in the game at this moment, yeah. They're boss in the game at this moment, but the Senegalese team, trying their best. I think they just need a bit of a cutting edge in that attacking third, and I think in there, would be that player as well. Love to know why he's not in the game as yet. It has to be down to tactical issue, player having an injury or anything like that. But I just think they lack a bit of more of a cutting edge in that final third where they can, get players onto the pitch, get players onto the ball, get people that can move. This French team, it's with these players on the pitch at the same time, it leaves so much room. It leaves so much room for mistakes, players to get in as well. But they don't want any real disruptions in the game as well. But and it is Barcola and it's 2-0 and game curtains, and that's it for the Senegalese team. That will be it. That should be it for the Senegalese team. And it's Barcola. It just came on minutes ago, found the back of the net. And that's it. Yeah, that's it for the Senegalese team. I cannot see any way back for this Senegalese team. As I think they have done enough, but that chance before it goes 2-0 from Nicholas Jackson, that was the chance. That was the moment, for him to get on the end of something as well. But again, man, leave it like that right there. And it's a wonderful finish. Very good dink over Mendy as well. The keeper, I think he just couldn't do nothing. He came and he went lie down on the touch floor. So it was a very good finish, from Bradley Barcola. And that's it. I think 3 points in the back. And I think the French team have shown, a lot of their quality and a lot of their individual brilliance as well in the last 30 minutes of this half, where it just pivot and how they really get goals as well. You can see the first opportunity that Olise created for Kylian Mbappe, and it's another true pass again. Not sure who made that pass, where that one came from, but that's it. Bradley Barcola was simply asked to come on and change the game, give the game a different approach, and surely he did that. Surely he did that. He gave the game, a different approach and different optics of the game, and he put the ball in the back of the net. Maybe if that was a Waterhouse player, what the hell? If that was RS player, on the pitch, maybe like a Nicholas Jackson would not put that ball in the back of the net, but they look certain, the more quality in the advancement role, lack of movement, lack of touches, think Sadio Mane, is completely out of the second half, nowhere to be found, cannot get on the ball. And I think that's all down to the quality of this French team as well. I just think the substitutions, are a bit poor, for the Senegalese coach. Yeah, Papetia. I think it was just too poor from him. He could probably see his team, was asking for help, and the help didn't came. The help didn't came. And now they're looking at them driving past these Senegalese players as if they're not there. And it's and it's Kylian Mbappe again, and it's another shot. It goes begging. He's looking for that number two goals. He's looking to get that golden boot, for the FIFA World Cup as well. Looking to get that. As if he can get it and score around 45 goals, that will bring the big career, the landmark, for the French player as well as leading goal scorer in the World Cup as well. But now he's just 3 goals away, and we are 2 games away. Still have, I think you still have here one of those teams. What's the name of that team? They still have Iraq and Norway to play. Yeah, yes, especially Iraq as well. That's a game. That's a team that you want to go into as well. Thinking about how many goals you can score as well, just as more important for your team to go on and to win that game as well. But the Lions are dead in the den. There's a review is coming on as well for Ryan Cherky. Still 3 more subs left back in the game for Didier Deschamps. So many changes to be made. French team still look, a bit passing the ball a bit more slick as well. Seems that they did lost a yard of screw. One second.